Chef Cook, and this is Cooking at Home with Chef. We're starting a new concept where you can pick up the food and prepare it at home. I'll do an instructional video on how to prepare everything. You have directions in there. We also have a QR code. You can take your camera or tablet, scan the QR code, and it'll take you straight to this video, and it'll give you all the instructions you need. In the kit, you're gonna find there's also directions on how to prepare everything. So it'll have everything you need to know right there, as well as all the ingredients. White pepper, some salt, some chopped parsley, some olive oil, a section of zucchini, a carrot puree that has fennel and onion in there, also a tomato Kalamata olive relish, as well as the salmon and some creamer potatoes. So the first thing you're going to want to do is cut open that cryovac bag and get that salmon out. And this salmon is from the Faroe Islands in Denmark. But what we want to do is we want to do a quick little dry cure. So we're going to put some salt down. We're going to put the salmon on it. And we're going to heavily sprinkle it with salt. What this is going to do is kind of leach out some of that moisture. And as you cook it, the proteins won't leach out. So then you would take it like this and put it in your fridge for about 10 minutes and let it do a quick dry cure. While that's going, we have the creamer red bliss potatoes. So there's 3 different sizes of potatoes when it comes to red bliss. There's A size, B size, and C size. This is the smallest version of the potato. A little bit of olive oil, a little bit of the chopped herbs, a little of the salt, and a little white pepper. And then we're going to toss that all around. And then we're going to put this in the 350-degree oven until they're nice and tender, which takes about 20 minutes. After the salmon's been in the fridge for about 10 minutes and it's done that quick cure process, you're going to rinse off all the salt. So rinse it off under cold water and then put the salmon on something absorbent like this and then cover it. So what you want to do is you want to get off all that excess moisture that's on the exterior off of the salmon. Now that it's nice and dry, we're going to season it up. So we will do a little kosher salt. And again, kosher salt is a puffed crystal. So it tends to disperse more evenly when it's cooked. And then some white pepper. So there's a little more kosher salt and some white pepper. Anytime you're seasoning seafood, you always want to use white pepper. It's a more subtle flavor profile. And there we are. And then we're going to take that to our pan to saute it. When that pan's nice and hot, add a little bit of canola oil to it. I like to use a Teflon pan so it doesn't stick, but you don't have to. And then we're going to put the salmon in the pan once it's nice and hot. So we always want to put it presentation side down first because that's going to have the hottest temperature of the pan at that time, and it'll give you the best crust. Let it cook there for about 1.5 to 2 minutes, depending on your heat. And then once it has the color that you wanted, this is a fish spatula, so if you're using something like this on a Teflon pan, just make sure you're not scratching the pan or anything. But you want to flip the salmon and cook it for about 2 minutes on that side. And then once you have it nice and golden on the other side, you want to transfer it to another pan so that you can put it in the oven. So if you keep it in this pan, it's essentially going to keep cooking, and you don't want that. So you want to take it off the heat, put it on a pan that's room temperature, and then place it in the oven until it's proper doneness. So I like to eat salmon about medium rare, medium or so. So I would cook it to about 132, 134 degrees. If you want to cook more, then just go up in temperature. But the best thing to have is a thermometer, and just basically whenever you take the temperature, once it comes out of the oven, is you want to place a thermometer, this tip, in the most center portion of the salmon. Now we're going to put that in the oven. So we have our salmon in the oven now. We have our potatoes that are almost done. While that's going, we're going to cut the zucchini into what's called batonets. So you can square it up, and basically you're just gonna trim it so that it's nice and even on all sides. And then from there, I'm just gonna cut this into about 1/4-inch slices. And then basically cut those into about 1/4-inch slices. What you're looking for right there is a bâtonnet. It's about 2 to 2.5 inches long and about 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch. So you have little matchsticks. And we'll do the rest of them same way. So that's what you're looking for, is a bâtonnet. So this is the same pan I had the salmon in. I went ahead and wiped it out, put a little more canola oil in there, and now I'm gonna put my zucchini bâtonnets in there. It's on about medium heat. And we're gonna let those saute a little bit. Now that they've sauteed a little bit, we're gonna add a little bit of kosher salt again, a little white pepper, and just turn them in the pan a little bit. Now we have all our ingredients together. One of these tricks that I learned with the creamer potatoes when I was working at the Four Seasons Hotel in Boston is once they're nice and roasted like this, if you take them and kind of smush them down a little bit, it makes for a nice landing platform for anything. So for this particular case, we're actually going to use them to put our salmon on top of. This is that carrot fennel puree that I put in a pot. I heated it up. You can heat it up in the microwave if you choose to. But we're just gonna take a nice big spoonful of that and just do a nice swoop. We're gonna take our potatoes and just alternate them down. We're gonna take our salmon. And then our zucchini bâtonnets. And this is the relish. If you choose to heat it up, you can, but I just like to do it at room temperature. So we'll just kind of stack it on top. As much as you'd like. Should have a little extra olive oil as well. So we'll just kind of drizzle a little bit of olive oil. Sprinkle it with some herbs. And there you are.